Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you me trying to undo the damage I might have done. I was amongst the people that said that this was really bad. And I first would like to apologize to whatever random GW employee possibly saw that and was like, damn, I tried my hardest. Um, yeah, that's on me. And two, I'm not going to try my hardest to convince Demons players that like Nurgle that this is that much better than Demonic Incursion. But hear me out for this video because I think it's a lot a bit stronger than initially given credit for. If you're like me, I play Tyrannage. You hear something that says Battle Shock as a rule, whether that be army or detachment, you roll your eyes, they go back to the back of your head, glaze over, and ignore the rest. I probably shouldn't have done that. I think I was far too hard on this, so now I'm going to talk about good things within this, and you all tell me if you're as worried about it as I am. So, let's begin. Plague Legion. Yeah, it does still have, while an enemy unit is within 9 inches of one or more Nurgle units from your army, they're within your Shadow of Chaos in each player's command phase. Each player's command phase. One enemy unit within your army Shadow of Chaos, that unit must take a Battle Shock test. Now, that's not where it's a, oh, we probably should have read, or I should have. I'm not even going to put this on other people. You can feel free to throw tomatoes at me, call me an ass, whatever. Um, respectfully, kind of like, don't just go full force. But I I definitely did miss the in each player's command phase part. That's not going to make this significantly better. However, that's two tests around versus one, right? So then also go to the enhancements, and I'll talk about while I'm back to Plague Legion real quick. I've been going through the detachments again, and the same way I look at Warrior Bioform Onslaught, if I just ignore like this shit, does this shit get better? And in the case of this, ignoring this, the rest does kind of get better, and I probably shouldn't have ignored this as tough either. So I'm here to now follow up on that and talk about the things. There's tabs, there's things, there's things. So Canker Blight or a 15 points can go on any Nurgle unit. Each time an enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer fails a Battle Shock test, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, kill a model in that unit. The controlling player gets to um, figure out which model it is, but just kill a model. Each time the bearer uses this enhancement, no mortal wounds are afflicted by your army's demonic terror roll. I know I looked at this again. Let me not lump in other people because I'm the goober. And I said, well, why the fuck do I care about that if I'm not also going to get mortal wounds? This means your random shit also. This procs whenever the bearer takes or fails a battle shock test. Multiple times. I'm sorry, whenever the enemy fails a battle shock test. Multiple times in a turn if you can do it. Whether that be 2 times over from this, with the other shit in your stratagems, whatever it may be. And also, even if you bring some other shit that can do it, like a changeling or um, skull cannons, to make more battle shock tests happen. They also, if they pass a battle shock test after failing one, they don't become unbattle shock. They can just keep taking battle shock tests. And yeah, that's and if anybody's wondering why, like that's an interaction, I'm not completely sure why it is, but I will say I know that from Savage Roar in Tyrannage, where it's like, yeah, it doesn't work if they're just battle shocked. They still have to fail that battle shock test. So you can take multiple battle shock tests, no matter if you're battle shocked or not, and you don't become unbattle shocked from passing one of them, right? So you just get to kill models for 15 points. That makes 15 points worth it, I think. I'm still not high on Maggot Maws, but Droning Shroud, excuse me, for 35 points, while a friendly Nurgle unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, can't be targeted outside of 18. Already knew it was good. Yes, you can double this with Be'lakor. I don't think you need Be'lakor still. Like, that's a lot of points. But the things you can take this on, such as a Walking Demon Prince, instead of just needing to put this on the Great Unclean One, yeah. Yeah, and then we'll talk about the Walking Demon Prince in a second. Then Font of Spores, 20 points, while a friendly Nurgle unit is within 6 inches of the bearer. Improve the AP characteristic of weapons equipped by models in that unit by 1. All weapons. Plus 1 AP. There's a lot of lethal in this flavor of Chaos Demons. So yeah, I definitely slept on some of this. Not even going to front. Then, Seeping Virulence, crits on 5s. Good. Know that. Rod and Renewal. Good. Knew that. Merc Shadows, plus 5 to the move of infantry. Knew that. Still good. Probably want to do this on one specific unit if you feel you want to spend the CP that turn. Fever Visions. And we'll talk about what that unit is too, of course. Fever Visions. Already knew it was good. Probably better than I gave it credit for too. Shooting or the fight phase. Any Nurgle unit plus 1 to hit. And after your unit has finished making its attacks, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. That enemy unit must take a Battle Shock test. So, not only do you get plus 1 to hit for your unit, if you do something like Split Fire, and you kill one unit, you can still make another unit take a Battle Shock test. And then get to working on them, whether that be with Canker Blight, outright killing a model, or the army rule kicking in and doing mortals. So that's cool. Fetid Resurgence, I'm still not that high on it, but it's still okay. I'm not high on it being 2CP. I think that it has to be, unfortunately, but I'm still not changing my mind too much on it. And then Plague of Woes, it's still also okay. Now, let's get into maybe, I guess, the combo. It's not really a combo. It's just like, yeah, this is probably three things you're already taking, but fuck, this is a lot better than I thought it was. Demon Prince of Chaos, Great Unclean One, Plague Drones. Prince of Chaos gives any demon unit within 6 inches of it stealth. Great Unclean One gives any Nurgle demon unit within 6 inches of it 6 up Feel No Pain. Nurgle's Rot, -1 toughness for an enemy unit within a foot of this model at the end of your movement phase. Huh. Yep. And then Plague Drones. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the turn. Each time a friendly Nurgle's demon unit makes an attack that targets that unit, you can re-roll the wound roll. That will be important. So, Demon Prince, of course you're making a Nurgle here, goes to T11, 2 up save, 4 up invuln, 10 wounds, Deep Strike, Stealth, Aura of Stealth, 6 up Feel No Pain. And can emit an aura of 18 inches, you can't hit us. A 6-inch aura of 18 inches out, you can't hit us. Already was thinking of putting that on a Great Unclean One, but now having an additional option that is a little bit more mobile, yeah, by 1 inch, but the base will be easier to maneuver without spending a CP to go through walls. That's for consideration. Right? Now, you can still put this on a Great Unclean One just to make the aura quote unquote bigger. Yeah, you can still do that. -1 toughness is good, and you already know what Plague Drones do, but let's talk about Font of Spores being on something like the Great Unclean One, increasing the AP by 1 of all weapons, meaning your Putrid Vomit which is a torrent, d6 plus 3, strength 5, goes to AP 3, damage 1. And you can subtract the toughness by 1 of a unit that you can then hit with this Putrid Vomit. And this also stacks per a balanced data slate a couple ago, 2, 3 ago. So 2 Great Unclean ones, maybe you go with one with Droning Shroud, the other one with Font of Spores, right? 18 inches out, can't be hit. Demon Prince of Chaos giving them stealth. T12, 6 up feel, no pain, aura for each other as well, right? AP3 Flamers with D6 plus 3. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and the Plague Drone, of course. Rerolling wounds. Yeah, I didn't really rate this too high at first. But it's also T8. 10-inch move, can go through walls now. Not like all the time, but for a CP. These can be in a place that you want them to be if you didn't deep strike them in that way. Blast AP1 on blast lethal hits, D3 per, to give them reroll wounds in this situation. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the first one where I was like, oh shit. And mind you, I'm re-recording this video because after I put the thumbnail together is when I said, holy shit, why don't I just use play drones into the Great Unclean One AP3 Flamer that was taking the toughness down of something, and probably next to a Demon Prince of Chaos or two that gave it stealth, while becoming Bellicor. Either one, right? So I think in the initial take, I was blinded by the fact that you can become Bellicor. So I just said, why not just double up and take Bellicor too? Which you still can do, but I don't think it's as necessary and frees up your points for maybe 2 Demon Princes of Chaos. How much is Bellicor again? Close to 2 Demon Princes of Chaos, while having T11 to up save monsters at the end of the day, right? And because they will now be Nurgle, goes up to at least AP1 and AP3 on the Hellforged weapons. So yeah, that's the one where I'm like, okay, shit. Then I went on, of course, because you can't just stop there. Also, I should note, I think the Great Unclean One, I feel that the loadout includes Doomsday Bales, so you can keep regenerating Plague Bearer units for this stuff to go on. Now, I could understand if you just say, fuck it, no, I'm going with AP3 for Bile Swords and Bile Blades. Yeah, I could get that. But yeah, maybe Bile Blade and Doomsday Belt. Alright, that's a one you can do. Plague Flail to Bile Blade, Bile Sword to Doomsday Belt. Cool. I think that might be the angle. It has extra attacks, has lethal hits. I think you'll be fine. So, Poxbringer already crits on 5s. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit takes a battle shock test, each time, -1 from the test. That gets annoying. That gets pretty fucking annoying. And this is per model. Now, this part doesn't stack because you can't, like, go too much on the test part. However, there being several 6-inch auras of -1 to the test and things like Cankerblight going around, you're either losing, your opponent's either losing straight up models or taking more mortals than they expected in each player's command phase. And outside of that, with shit like Fever Visions or whatever other thing that will trigger Battle Shock Test. So that's Poxbringer. And then there's Sloppity Biopiper. While this model is leading a unit, add 1 to the move characteristic of models in that unit, and you can reroll advance rolls made for that unit. So, for a CP, because it's infantry, before you get to advancing, you can add 6 to the move characteristic of models, so now you have Plague Bears that have moved 11. And at the start of the fight phase, every enemy unit within 6 inches of this model, excluding monsters and vehicles, must take a Battle Shock test. That can be at -1. And then you see where I'm going with that. They fail battle shock test 6 inches around this person that, or this demon that went 11 inches out without an advance. You can still advance, right? If you just want to do this and pop 6 inches around and get a lot of shit at the fight phase. It doesn't say within engagement range, at the fight phase, whoever's fight phase, 6 inches around, fail some battle shock test. Maybe get some mortals, maybe straight up kill models. Maybe you got locked in combat, they failed their battle shock test, kill a model, and that one that you are a little bit scared of. Yeah, I think that's better than I definitely gave it credit for. Plague Bearers are still the hardest infantry to get through. Or, sorry, the hardest battle line to get through. In the game? Maybe not the game, but definitely in Demons. Okay, it depends on what you call toughest to get through, because I guess you could go with Pink Horrors too. But Plague Bearers are T5, 5 up invuln, 2 wounds, and they have Sticky. And they have lethal hits. So 20 attacks, lethal hits, going to AP2. When people didn't expect that shit, yeah, that's that'll pick up some shit. Especially if it's something that also had their toughness taken down, right? Spoilpox Scrivener. While this model is leading a unit, you get sustained hits 1. For those models, going back to Plague Bears, they already have lethal hits. Sustained lethals, crits on 5s. Yeah, that's a bit better. Especially going to AP2 once again. Things that definitely weren't prepared to eat shit will eat shit. Oh, well, costing you relatively nothing, because we're talking about bringing a small character with 110-point battle line? Yeah, while costing you damn near nothing. Rodigus, I've never been too high on Rodigus, per se. So that's why I guess I'm a little bit more okay with saying I don't think you bring Rodigus, but I do want to point out, if you do, there's a 2d6 Flamer, Strain 7, AP3 damage 1, and at the fight phase, +1 into something if you want. Let's just say that it's Rodigus's unit, AP4, damage 4 on the strike for 7 attacks. That's good, right? That's just good. And then going to Horticulous Slimux, I highlighted in the last go round, but I didn't really think about this one and the fact that there is a way that the Acidic Maw goes to AP5. And once again, let's just say that you use Rodigus's ability on the unit that your Slimux and Beast of Nurgle are going into. That's damage 4 weapons. AP5, AP3, in the auras, of course. AP2, devastating wounds. Yeah, some shit's getting picked up. Some shit is getting picked up. And if they don't kill a Beast of Nurgle outright, that might have stealth or a 6-up Feel No Pain, it'll just regain all of its wounds at the end of each phase. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, whoever saw my dumbass call this really bad. And I think I just did that again in the Grotmus review video. Yeah, I think I definitely didn't give this enough credit. Well, I don't think, I know I didn't give this enough credit. Is it as terrifying to me as Slanesh? No. But I think I do now place it over Korn. And I already... No, I had it under Zinch too. I think I place it over those. And as far as everything else in the metagame, we are looking at a lot more infantry with shit like Creations of Bile. World Eaters is looking okay. Then again, there was just a lot of infantry detachments overall, like with the guard. This might eat the guard. Oh my gosh, This might eat the guard detachment that people are worried about alive. Can't be shot outside of 18, and then once you get close, fucking AP3 flamers on great unclean ones that have stealth and a 6-up feel no pain. And if you do have 2 CP, you can heal them D3 plus 1 if you don't value the other shit. And if there was a need for plus 1 to hit on the plague drones, you have that. Battle shock test, reroll wounds. Yeah. I Plague Legion. Definitely better than I gave it credit for. I implore anybody watching this to maybe do what I've been doing and go back with a different perspective on some of these detachments that have come out. See what you can ignore about the detachment rule, or about the detachment in general. Maybe that's ignoring all the stratagems and looking at the enhancements and the detachment rule. Ignoring the detachment rule, looking at enhancements and stratagems. You get the point. But yeah, I've definitely been doing that a bit more to try to see more value in some things. And it really has me wondering, what do we value in detachments? Obviously, you want a detachment that has a good rule, good enhancements, and good stratagems. Sometimes we don't necessarily get that. But sometimes, if you're fine enough with 2 out of the 3, or maybe a really strong 1 out of the 3, you'll play a detachment. For example, Invasion Fleet, the detachment rule is really good. The enhancements are kind of whatever. And there's one really good strat. People don't seem to use the other ones that much because it's all about the fight phase, and not too many Invasion Fleet lists care about the fight phase. So yeah, that's that's just the takes that I've been going through everything with. But sorry, GW employee that might have seen this after working so hard on it, and probably some other people's videos. I'm going to try to help you get out that this is quite a bit better than previously considered. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.